Let me paint you a picture. It's a Tuesday afternoon, a dealership lot in Ohio. Rows upon rows of brand new trucks, SUVs, and sedans, perfectly polished, not a scratch on them. The sun is bouncing off the windshields. The banners are screaming 0% APR. The salesmen are standing at the door, ties straightened, smiles ready. And nobody is walking in. Nobody. This is not a scene from a recession. This is not 2008. This is not a pandemic shutdown. This is happening right now, in 2026, in the most car-obsessed country on the planet. And it is happening every single day. Cox Automotive confirmed it. New vehicle sales in the United States dropped to 15.8 million units this year, down from the previous year, down from projections, down from every hopeful forecast the industry put out. Billions of dollars worth of inventory is sitting on asphalt, rotting under the sun, going absolutely nowhere. So the question that every honest person should be asking right now is this: if Americans still need cars, and they absolutely do, why on earth can dealerships not sell them? I'm going to tell you exactly why, and when I'm done, you will never walk into a dealership the same way again. Let's start with the most obvious problem: the price. According to Kelley Blue Book, the average transaction price for a new vehicle in the United States has now crossed $49,000. The average sticker price? $51,000. Let that sink in for a moment. The average. Not a luxury car, not a sports car. The average vehicle that sits in the middle of the lot with a cloth interior and a 4-cylinder engine. $51,000. Do you know what the median household income in America is right now? Roughly $78,000 a year. Before taxes. That means millions of ordinary Americans are being asked to spend nearly an entire year's income on a depreciating asset that will lose 20% of its value the moment they drive it off the lot. But it gets worse, because that $51,000 sticker price, that number is a fiction, a fantasy, a marketing trick. Walk into that showroom, and by the time you reach the finance office, that price has transformed. Destination fees, documentation fees, dealer prep fees, nitrogen in the tires. Yes, that's a real line item. Forced accessory packages nobody asked for. Paint protection film that costs $200 to apply, but $1,500 to charge you for. A vehicle advertised online for $26,900 walks out the door at $35,100. That is not a rounding error. That is a $8,200 ambush. And dealerships have been running this exact play for years, daring you to walk away after you've already driven 45 minutes to get there. A Copilot report cited by MarketWatch revealed that 71% of surveyed car buyers encountered hidden fees that cost them an average of $640 per transaction beyond what was advertised. 71%. This is not a few bad actors. This is the business model. And consumers, they've finally figured it out. They're tired, they're fed up, and they are staying home. Now, the industry knows it has a pricing problem. So what is their solution? What is the great masterstroke that automakers and dealers have cooked up to bring buyers back through those glass doors? 0% APR financing, and on the surface, it sounds incredible. No interest. Zero. What a deal, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. And I'm going to do something dealerships never do. I'm going to show you the actual math. Take a vehicle priced at $58,000. That is a number you will hit on almost any fully loaded pickup truck or mid-range SUV in 2026. 0% APR, 72-month loan. No interest charged. Sounds manageable? Your monthly payment is $805 every single month for 6 years. Now add insurance. In 2026, the average American pays $2,150 annually for full coverage auto insurance. That's another $179 a month. Add registration fees, annual tags, routine maintenance, and the occasional repair. You are now looking at comfortably over $1,100 a month to keep one vehicle on the road. For a household earning $78,000 a year, that is $13,200 per year, roughly 17% of their gross income, going to one car. Financial advisors say transportation should consume no more than 10 to 15% of your take-home pay. Not gross. Take home. These numbers don't just stretch the budget, they shred it. And the 0% APR offer? It comes with an asterisk the size of a billboard. You typically have to have a credit score above 740 to qualify. You usually have to forego the manufacturer's cashback rebate, which on some models is worth $3,000 to $5,000. And the 0% rate often only applies to shorter loan terms, meaning you're forced into higher monthly payments to get the deal anyway. The house always wins. The dealership always wins. And the average buyer walks out thinking they got a deal when they actually signed themselves into 6 years of financial stress. Now I want to go deeper. Because pricing games and hidden fees are annoying, but what's happening inside some of these dealerships crosses a completely different line. Let's talk about bait and switch. The Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro carries a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $63,000 to $735, a fair number for what it is. But walk into certain dealerships and you will find a market adjustment fee, a completely made-up number, of $9,995 slapped on top. Then add forced accessories, documentation charges, and regional levies. The out-the-door price quietly climbs toward $78,000. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 is advertised online for around $27,000. That listing drives people into showrooms, but once inside, buyers discover fine print leasing conditions, surprise regional surcharges, and contract language designed by lawyers to confuse everyone except other lawyers. The real price lands closer to $42,000. The ad was the bait. The showroom was the trap. The Federal Trade Commission saw this coming. They introduced the CARS rule, combating auto retail scams, specifically designed to force dealers to post real prices, ban junk fees, and end the bait-and-switch playbook. The FTC estimated this single rule would save American consumers $3.4 billion and 72 million hours of wasted time every year. But instead of letting consumers finally get protected, the dealership lobby fought back hard. In January 2025, a federal appeals court struck down the CARS rule on procedural grounds, effectively killing the regulation before it could do a single dollar of good for the public. The dealers won. The buyers lost. Again. And then there's the outright criminal activity. Not exaggerated, not speculation, documented and prosecuted. In verified cases across multiple states, finance departments have been caught secretly altering customer down payments on loan applications submitted to lenders. A buyer puts down $1,000. The paperwork sent to the bank says $10,000. The dealer pockets the difference. To cover the scheme, they produce two completely different contracts. One clean copy for the customer to sign and one falsified copy for the lender. When buyers noticed the discrepancy and demanded answers, management told them it would be sorted out later. It never was. Until the state attorney general's office got involved. Licenses revoked, criminal indictments handed down, finance directors and sales reps now facing 5 to 20 years in federal prison for grand theft and bank wire fraud. This is what hides behind the smiling salesperson and the freshly vacuumed showroom floor. Is it every dealership? No. But it is enough dealerships, often enough, that the entire industry's reputation is now in freefall. And buyers know it. So consumers started fleeing, not to a different dealership, to the internet. Platforms like Carvana promised the antidote. Buy a car online. No pushy salespeople, no finance office, no pressure, just a clean, simple process from your couch. Except it didn't work out that way either. The Better Business Bureau has logged thousands of formal complaints against online platforms, the majority centering on broken delivery promises, undisclosed mechanical defects, deceptive vehicle descriptions, and post-sale support that simply disappears. Connecticut alone reached a $1.5 million settlement following a flood of consumer complaints about delayed registrations, unpaid vehicle payoffs, and cars that arrived in significantly worse condition than advertised. This is the defining tragedy of the 2026 car market. Consumers sprint away from dealerships to escape one trap, only to land in a different trap wearing a cleaner interface. There is nowhere to run, and that is exactly why people are simply choosing not to buy at all. Here's the part that should make every executive in Detroit, Stuttgart, and Seoul deeply uncomfortable. This crisis was self-inflicted. Automakers spent years chasing the premium segment, higher trim levels, more technology, Bigger screens, fancier stitching, ambient lighting, features nobody asked for, stacked onto price tags nobody could sustainably afford. They built vehicles for the buyer they wished existed, not the buyer actually standing in their showrooms. Volkswagen launched the ID Buzz, a reimagined electric version of the classic VW bus, dripping in nostalgia and lifestyle branding. The price tag? Hovering around $70,000. Buyers walked away instantly. You are not selling a vehicle at that price. You are asking someone to take out a second mortgage on a minivan. The result? Volkswagen's profits plunged 53%, forcing the company into waves of layoffs, affecting tens of thousands of workers. Harley-Davidson is hitting the exact same wall. A brand that built its entire identity around blue-collar American freedom now wants $30,000 for a motorcycle. People aren't buying it, literally. Harley posted consecutive quarters of declining sales as riders simply refused to absorb the price increase. GM issued a massive recall affecting nearly 600,000 trucks and SUVs equipped with the 6.2-liter V8 engine, connecting rod and crankshaft defects that can cause catastrophic engine failure while driving. These are trucks priced between $60,000 and $90,000. You are paying luxury money for a vehicle that might strand you on the highway. The automakers forgot who the average consumer is, and now the average consumer is returning the favor by forgetting the automakers exist. But here's where I refuse to leave you stuck, because there are still good vehicles at honest prices. You just have to know exactly how to find them and how to fight for them. Rule 1. Only negotiate the out-the-door price. The moment a salesperson asks, "What do you want your monthly payment to be?" stop the conversation entirely. That question is engineered to distract you from the total price. A $60,000 vehicle stretched to 84 months looks manageable on paper and destroys you in reality. Demand one number, the total, out the door, taxes, fees, everything, then decide. Rule 2. Arrange your financing before you set foot inside. Walk into your bank or credit union first, get pre-approved, get a rate, get a letter. When you sit down in the finance office and they try to route you through their lender at a higher rate, you already have your exit. A dealership that refuses to compete with outside financing is not a dealership worth your business. Rule 3. Get an independent inspection, no exceptions. Before you sign anything on a used vehicle, pay a mechanic you trust, not one the dealer recommends, to inspect it completely. Underbody, engine, tires, brakes, electrical, interior for water damage. A $200 inspection has saved buyers from $8,000 transmission replacements. It is the cheapest insurance you will ever buy. Rule 4. Know which vehicles actually deliver value right now. The Mazda 3 is consistently one of the sharpest looking, best built vehicles under $30,000. Premium feel, premium reliability, regular fuel. Genesis models, particularly used G80S and GY80S, offer legitimate luxury aesthetics at a fraction of European brand pricing. These are the vehicles the market hasn't lost its mind over yet. The American dealership model is not broken because people stopped needing cars. People need cars more than ever. It is broken because an entire industry convinced itself that the customer had no other choice, that they would swallow whatever price appeared on the sticker, that a banner promising 0% interest would be enough to override every instinct that said this doesn't add up. They were wrong. The buyer didn't disappear. The buyer woke up. And a market that spent years treating the customer like a transaction is now facing the full weight of that decision. You have more power in this market than dealerships want you to know. Use it. Be patient. Do the math. Never let urgency be manufactured for you by someone wearing a commission-based smile. The inventory will sit, the prices will drop, and when they do, you'll be ready. If this opened your eyes, share it with someone who's about to buy a car and doesn't know what they're walking into. Drop a comment below. Have you had a dealership experience that confirms everything I just said? I want to hear it. See you in the next one.